Okay, what I'd like to do now is just play some beats without getting into the notes and all that. So try to play along with me, or if you have your remote control handy, that would be beneficial. This way, if you catch something, you can rewind it. Okay. Now let's try something with the hi-hat. Using 2 hands on your hi-hat. Okay. That's the same beat as this, just doubling up on the hi-hat. Okay, what I like to do is demonstrate a song I performed on with White Zombie called More Human Than Human. It's basically the same groove, just a little bit faster. I also want to point out that the setup I use live is a way massive kit, but you can get the same power out of something like that because all it is kick, snare, and a hi-hat. So I'll demonstrate that for you right now. Okay, I'd also like to mention that what I just played to was pre-recorded music. A lot of that stuff's on tape, which I'm playing a click track, so definitely playing to a metronome or a click track is very beneficial to you later on, as far as keeping your timing, so I just want to point that out to you.
Basically, let's take a simple beat like this, and I'll show you what to do with it. Okay, practice a beat like that for like 5 minutes where you don't change anything. You focus on beat, time, and groove. Create that foundation. Now I want you to start to be creative with this. And the way I broke this down for instruction is, let's be creative with just the hi-hat. Come up with different patterns on just the hi-hat. And keep the bass drum and snare drum the same. Here we go. Now let's work on coming up with a couple of different ideas with the bass drum. Well, the hi-hat and the snare drum stay the same. So now there's a vocabulary of ideas with your kick drum that goes along with this beat. Now let's do the same thing. We keep the hi-hat and the bass drum stable, playing the same thing over and over again, where I'll improvise or be creative on the snare drum. Okay, obviously if I were playing a song, I wouldn't do all these things all at once like I did, but I was just trying to show you how you take a beat, which becomes almost like a language in itself, and what I'm trying to do is develop a vocabulary. I'm trying to add more words to my vocabulary, which creates bigger sentences, bigger paragraphs. The more ideas you have, the more you can speak the language of this beat.
One technique that's very important, and I try to utilize it whenever I'm playing a groove, is the use of ghost notes. And a ghost note is when you're actually playing notes on the snare drum at a much lighter velocity than the actual 2 and 4 or whatever the main backbeat of the song is. And I'll play an example right now off of the Liquid Tension Experiment album I did. This was a duet between myself and Tony Levin, and it's based off of this shuffle, which is utilizing ghost notes. And the groove goes like this. If you watch what I'm doing with the snare, you'll see that the most important thing that I'm doing is the in-between the beats on the snare drum, not the actual backbeats. So here we go. Another important aspect to the shuffle groove I was just playing, in addition to the ghost notes, is the swing of the eighth notes on the right hand. A lot of rock beats, rock drummers are used to just straight eighth notes or straight 16th notes. But when you're playing a triplet shuffle, it's got more of a swing to it. So let me show you that groove broken down with a straight eighth note feel, and then I'll show you what happens when you embellish it with the swing on the eighth notes. So I'll start off with the straight eighths. A lot of it's just a swing with the right hand.